Why is Switzerland so rich while Congo remains poor? Why does Singapore look so futuristic while other countries still struggle with electricity, clean water, and basic infrastructure? Why do some nations keep getting richer generation after generation while others remain trapped in poverty for decades, sometimes even centuries? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. People say they are corrupt, they don't have good leaders, or maybe they don't work hard enough. But if the answer was that simple, half of the world would not be struggling. Because countries do not become rich accidentally, but they do not remain poor accidentally either. Behind every rich nation, there is a powerful system, and behind every poorer nation, there is usually a broken one. This is the story of why some countries rise while others remain trapped forever. Let's understand this story in this episode of The Other Side. When people think of poor countries, they think about low income. But poverty at a national scale is much deeper than just about money. A poor country is usually a country where system fails. Road fails, electricity fails, healthcare fails, education fails, law enforcement fails, public institution fails. And once a system starts failing together, economic growth becomes extremely difficult. Because modern wealth is not just created by gold anymore. Modern wealth is created by productivity, and productivity comes from organization. Think about it. A factory cannot operate properly if power cuts happen every day. Businesses cannot grow if transport infrastructure is broken. Investors will not invest where corruption dominates courts, and talented people leave when opportunities disappear. This is why rich countries are not simply rich because they have money. They are rich because they have built systems that continuously create value. And poor countries often remain poor because their systems continuously destroy value. Some countries started with geographical advantages. Countries near oceans and trade routes historically developed faster because trade creates wealth. This is why Europe industrialized rapidly. This is why Singapore became rich despite having no natural resources. Meanwhile, many poor countries are landlocked. And when countries are landlocked, transport becomes expensive, trade becomes difficult, and industrial growth slows down. But geography alone does not decide your destiny, because Japan and Singapore still became developed despite having major limitations, which means something else matters more: systems. Many poor countries today were once colonies, and colonies were not designed to become rich. They were designed to extract resources: gold from Africa, cotton from India, and rubber from Congo. Colonial powers built economies focused on extraction instead of development. Railways connected mines to ports, not cities to industries, and local manufacturing was weakened by this. Many countries remain dependent heavily on exporting raw materials. Even today, many developing nations still depend on exporting cheap commodities while the richer nations dominate technology and manufacturing. The flags changed, but the economic structures remained. The biggest factor behind national success is institutions: governments, courts, banks, property rights. Good institutions create trust. Bad institutions create fear, and trust drives economies. If businesses trust the system, they invest. If people trust the bank, they save and build wealth. If entrepreneurs trust the government, they innovate. The best example for this is North Korea and South Korea. Same people, same history, completely different systems. One built industries and technology, the other isolated itself economically. One export Samsung phones to the world, other struggles economically. The difference was not culture, the difference was systems. Ironically, abundance of natural resources can also sometimes make countries poorer. This is called the resource curse. Countries dependent on oil or minerals often stop investing in innovation and industries. Easy resource money creates corruption and instability. Look at Venezuela, huge oil reserves, yet economic collapse destroyed the country. Meanwhile, countries like Japan and South Korea had very limited resources. And that is why they invested heavily in education and human capital instead. And in today's world, human intelligence creates more wealth than oil. To be very honest, the global economy is also unequal. Richer countries dominate finance, technology, and global trade, whereas poorer countries are stuck exporting cheap labor and raw materials. And countries higher up the value chain almost capture most of the profits. Technology creates wealth, innovation creates wealth, manufacturing creates wealth. And countries that fail to move upward economically often remain trapped. But no country is doomed forever. China was once poor, Singapore had almost no natural resources, and South Korea was devastated by the war. Yet, all three transformed through education, industrialization, infrastructure, and long term planning. The pattern is clear. Countries rise when they build systems that increase productivity. Because in the end, nations do not become rich by luck. They become rich because they build systems that multiplies human potential. And the countries that master that shape the future of the world. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed watching our content, please do subscribe to the channel because we are going to break down geopolitics and economics in a way that makes sense for all of us. See you in the next one soon. Till then, stay happy, stay diplomatic. This is Dev this side signing off. Peace.